And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So, however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Sunday, folks, and there is no Super Bowl on today or any meaningful NFL games on this Sunday. It's unfortunate, but there is a Pro Bowl. So I guess, it's something. It's some football. So that's kind of what we're going to be diving into today. We'll see what the Pro Bowl has to offer in the betting world. We'll see what the line is. Any prop bets to make a quick buck here to bolster our bank account for that Super Bowl Sunday where they got props on props on props. You can bet on whatever you want in the Super Bowl. So let's see if we can build a nice little bankroll off this Pro Bowl. Let's parlay that into the Super Bowl and have this nice cash out to end the NFL season. Shall we do that, folks? So we'll break down the Pro Bowl today. I also want to kind of touch on Mac Jones, because also with the Pro Bowl came the Pro Bowl festivities, and we had the skills competition, and I thought Mac Jones played pretty solid this year, rookie year, all that, no great weapons. I thought he played well, but then we saw Mac Jones in the skills competition with two passing kind of competitions that he competed in, and I want to review the tape because the accuracy was lacking, to put it nicely. So we'll watch kind of Mac Jones a little bit, some stories to touch upon, and as always, breaking down the NBA. So we got a nice little show for you today. So let's just kick it off, shall we? Let's start in the NBA, and then we will head over to the NFL. So let's see what went on in the NBA last night. See if we can make a little bit of money today in the NBA. We'll spend time betting the NBA today. It's the Pro Bowl. Yeah, we'll throw some money on that, but we can also throw a little bit of money on the NBA now that we don't have to kind of worry about an entire Sunday full of NFL games. It's unfortunate. We love it, but we can start betting basketball on Sundays now, so I guess that's pretty good, yeah? Alrighty, so let's start with the NBA from last night. Some games, a couple of games on last night. Some good games, some blowouts, and our heavy hitters always hitting heavy, especially last night. So here we go. Let's start with the first one up. Grizzlies at the Magic, and the Grizzlies really dominate, blow them out. They win by 20, 135-115. Ja Morant, folks. Ja Morant, 33 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, a magnificent performance. Steven Adams shooting 100% from the field on 6 shots, 12 points, 8 assists, 11 rebounds. Can't get more efficient than that. And then we get Jaren Jackson Jr., 21.6 rebounds in the starting lineup as well. So absolutely magnificent. And then off the bench, some great productions. Brandon Clark, 10 points, 8 rebounds. DeAnthony Melton, 16 points, 10 rebounds. And Tyus Jones, 10 points, 5 assists in 17 minutes off the bench. So Grizzlies, they're deep, folks. The real deal, a real legitimate finals contending team in Ja Morant. I mean, he's just so great, folks. Facilitating the floor, driving, passing, dishing, hitting threes, whatever it takes, dunking on everybody. Don't get confused, folks. Ja Morant will put you on a poster regardless of who you are. Jokic, Embiid, you could be a small guard. It doesn't matter. He's coming into the paint with intensity, and he's about to get that big old poster shot on you. So Grizzlies are the absolute real deal, and they keep proving it to us game in, game out, and we are absolutely here for it. Whereas the Magic, they let us down a little bit last night. We're trying to find the bettability with this team, and I know we didn't have the show last night, but I still went through my process of looking through the games and the matchups and all that, and I stayed away from betting this game last night, and I wanted to bet on this Magic team with the points, but I knew this Grizzlies team was just I think they're out of the Magic lead, their league. where I think we can find some good value betting on this Magic team when they're not facing, the top 5 best teams in the league. So a little disappointed that we couldn't get, the Magic truly stepping up and making this a competitive game. I believe the line ended at Grizzlies minus 8.5 at, time's close. So, I was, really kind of rooting for the Magic to cover the 8.5, but not even close. A 20-point blowout. So, we're still, tracking this Magic team, but the bettability is definitely not at 100%, and we really have to kind of see this Magic team face middle of the road, below average teams to start betting on them. So, little disappointed in them last night. We get Cole Anthony, a pretty solid performance, 22 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Franz Wagner, only 15 points last night. We do like to see him in 20-plus point category. We get Wendell Carter, 12 points, 10 rebounds. Mo Bamba not doing anything when he was on the floor. 3 points on 6 shots, 3 rebounds, not getting anything down. And then Jalen Suggs, a solid performance at the 1, 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. No real great bench help out here. Moritz Wagner, 9 points. We get Gary Harris, 10 points. But this Magic team, they are definitely not ready to compete with the Suns, with the Grizzlies, with the Heat. They're not anything like that. Facing the Pacers, facing the Knicks, absolutely. Facing the Celtics, potentially. I think that may be the bar. Celtics, now that they've turned a corner, I think I take the Celtics, bet on the Celtics over the Magic. But overall, there is some games I believe that we can bet on the Magic, and we are kind of waiting for those games to appear. And last night, that was not the game to appear. But Grizzlies get the big ol' win, 135-115. Alrighty, and now we bring up the next game, Heat at the Hornets. Yes, sir, folks. Yes, sir. This Heat team, they're back. The dogs are fully back, folks. The kennel is full. It's open for everybody to come in and enjoy looking at all these great dogs. Heat get the win, 104-86, and once again, no bettability in this Hornets team at all, folks. They are so inconsistent in their games, but they're also inconsistent during the quarters. They were decent. They had the lead going into halftime, but then the third quarter, folks, guess what happened in the third quarter? The Hornets put up 8 points. 8 points in the third quarter. They got outscored 35-8 in the third quarter. This is what we're talking about with this Hornets team. They've got some nice, young, exciting pieces, but they are so consistent. They were way more consistent last season. I don't understand how that happened. You go from consistent last year to so gosh dang inconsistent this year. What happened? You didn't get anybody new. You didn't lose anybody. So what happened here? And you still don't have the great big. So it's not like you upgraded your big and then that kind of threw off kind of the overall chemistry of the team, kind of like what we saw with the Grizzlies getting, kind of downgrading overall at their big, going from Valanciunas to Steven Adams, and they're getting better. The Hornets didn't even change their big, so what's your excuse? The Grizzlies got better. The Hornets, they've got no excuse of why they are so inconsistent this season. So bettability is literally at 0% for this Hornets team, folks. Getting points, swallowing points, no thank you either way. So Hornets just so inconsistent last night, but the Heat, this is what the Heat do, folks. They pound basketball all 4 quarters when they are at full strength, and now Jimmy Butler's back, Kyle Lowry's back. We know this team is at full strength. So last night for the Heat, Jimmy Butler, 27 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on 76% shooting. So gosh dang efficient. We get Kyle Lowry, just a light 9 points, 4 steals, 6 assists, getting it done. Duncan Robinson, once again, the floor is crowded, so the man does not play well. When it's only him, when Jimmy Butler, Kyle Lowry are out, we can see Duncan Robinson having great nights, but here he is with a full roster, 3 points on 11% shooting on 9 shots, 1 of 7 from the 3. Not great. We get Bam Adebayo being aggressive, 20 points, 12 rebounds, fantastic. They want him to be aggressive and all that. And then PJ Tucker resorting back to classic PJ Tucker, only 5 points, 5 rebounds. And we've seen him have this stretch of like 15, 20 points a game. It's been kind of crazy. In that off the bench, solid production by Tyler Hero, getting it done. 5 of 8 from the 3, 19 points in total. So, solid production by the Heat last night leads them to the win, even though they were losing at halftime. And then for the Hornets, blowing it real big time in the third quarter. LaMelo Ball, 12 points, 3 assists. That's nothing like what we see from LaMelo Ball. Terry Rozier led the team in scoring, 16 points. Mason Plumlee, 6 points, 10 rebounds. And Miles Bridges with a nice 15 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. But Gordon Hayward, what's been going on with him? I mean, since he's been back, folks, the man has not been getting it done at all. 0 points on 7 shots. What are we doing out here? So they need Gordon Hayward. They need something else out here. Solid bench production from P.J. Washington. He put up 11 points, but Kelly Oubre Jr., 1 of 9 from the 3, 9 points overall. So just a real lackluster shooting performance by the Hornets last night. Super inconsistent. Bettability is at an all-time low. I don't know. I think this is like the only team we won't bet. I think I'd bet the Pistons over the Hornets at the current moment, and I don't think I've bet on the Pistons this entire season so far, folks. So Heat get the win, 104-86. This Hornets team, folks, man, oh man, they've got to do something. Where are they at currently in the standings? Can they make a playoff push? I would like to see LaMelo Ball finally getting a good squad and being consistent and making the playoffs and trying to do something. Currently the 9th seed here in the Eastern Conference. So they're in the play-in tournament. They've got about a 3-game lead from the 11th seed of falling out into the play-in tournament, and they are about 2 games back from being in the top 6. So they're in this kind of middle of the road phase, and we'll see if they're going to turn the corner for the good or turn the corner for the bad. And so far they've been turning the corner for the bad. So Hornets, man, you've got to do something. Try to do something at the trade deadline because it's just not working out. Heat get the win, 104-86. All right, next game up here, Suns at the Wizards, and the Suns take care of business on the road, winning 95-80. Once again, just Kyle Kuzma out there by his lonesome. He can't get it done himself for the Suns. And once again, this Wizards team, they're inconsistent. They just beat the who they beat, the 76ers the other night, and kind of bolstered them up a little bit in the national media, on social media, but this Wizards team super inconsistent as well. Not as much as the Hornets, but still inconsistent here. Really no big bettability for this Wizards team. But for the Suns last night, Chris Paul, 14 points, 9 assists. Devin Booker only putting up 11 points. That's why the Suns only scored 95 points, because Devin Booker a little bit lackluster last night, 1 of 6 from the 3. DeAndre Ayton leading the team in scoring, leading the team in rebounds, 20 points, 16 rebounds. Well done. And man, oh man, the way that the league is truly turning, where we're getting like such high level of big play. Obviously, we've got the Jokic and the Embiids, who literally are the number 1 player on their team, main offensive production and all that, and they show up every single night. But then we got these other tier bigs where we get Bam Adebayo and DeAndre Ayton, who are on good teams and have other, kind of players that are kind of the number 1 scoring option and even kind of number 2 scoring option. And these bigs kind of being the third option out here, getting it done and being a force to truly be reckoned with out here. So we're in like the gold. Are we in a golden age of big play out here? Big beef play, big down low 5 play out here, folks. It's been absolutely great to see. DeAndre Ayton, 20 points, 16 rebounds. We absolutely love it. McCall Bridges, 12 points, 4 assists, still in the starting lineup. Cameron Johnson coming off the bench with a nice 12 points. And let's also shout out JaVale McGee, another kind of big, older, big, aging out of this league, going down to the bench, but still giving us some solid productions. 6 points, 10 rebounds for JaVale McGee. And who's the other big that Andre Drummond for the 76ers, when he fills in for Joel Embiid, he gets it done as well. So these bigs are truly dominating the league now, and which just kind of seems like counterpoint to just like an overall narrative where in the NFL, high scoring offense, the speedy wide receivers, the athletic quarterbacks getting it done, where we're looking at the NBA, you would think, oh, the 3-point shot, the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, they are the new wave of the NBA. No more going down low, driving. People don't even want to take mid-range shots anymore because they classify them a bad shot because it's only 2 points and you're in the middle of the floor. I never agreed with that. But once again, that's kind of, the direction that you would sense the league going. But man, oh man, the last couple of seasons, and this season especially, of all the bigs like playing such at a high level, it's absolutely great to see. So the bigs are back. The big resurgence is back, folks. And I think I'm here for it, absolutely. So the Suns get the win, and then for the Wizards last night, Kyle Kuzma, 9 points on 25% shooting on 12 shots. Womp, womp. I mean, their leading scorer for the starters was Aaron Holiday, 11 points. That's not going to get it done on any team. We know this. And then the leading scorer was Montrezl Harrell, the big out here, 15 points, 7 rebounds. Give respect to the bigs, folks. Yes, we are seeing a little bit of a shift from outside shooting the three-point shot during those kind of golden State years of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, Splash Brothers winning the finals every single season. The outside shooting was taking over, but now we're back. Giannis winning NBA championships, winning MVPs. The bigs, folks, the bigs are taking over the NBA again, and we're all here for it. Absolutely. Montrezl Harrell, 15.7 rebounds, led the team in scoring for the Wizards. So the Suns get the win, 95-80. All right, next game up here, Knicks at the Lakers, and once again, our sponsors coming through. The check clears every single game, folks. We don't just take any team here that's bad and sign a sponsorship with them. We sign sponsorships with teams that are truly bad and never win and never cover spreads, anything like that. The Panthers in the NFL and the Knicks here in the NBA. And once again, the Knicks, folks. You were watching the first half. Maybe you're a little bit nervous here that our sponsorship wouldn't pull through, but it's the Knicks, folks. That's why we chose them as our sponsors. That's why we're working with this team. That's why we're actively always betting against this team, because it doesn't matter. One good run, one good quarter, anything like that, it won't matter. They lose at the end of the day. Knicks losing in overtime to the Lakers, 115-122, and the Knicks just got out to a hot-ass first quarter start. Literally just kind of honestly a hot first 1 minute where they came out and hit 3 threes just like that, got up like 9-0 of official points. They put up 42 points in the first quarter, but then the third quarter they put up 13, and that's when the Lakers made their move. Malik Monk getting it absolutely done in the third quarter, 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 after 3, getting it done, and the Lakers almost blew it at the end of the fourth quarter, missing all the free throws. Russell Westbrook misses 2. Was it Anthony Davis missed 1? They missed like a total of 3 or 4 free throws in like the final minute and almost blew the game, but it goes into overtime. They get it done in overtime. Knicks can't score in overtime because the Knicks are not good at scoring anyway. They had one good 2-minute stretch at the beginning of quarter number 1 that was good. So once again, folks, Knicks, always bet against them. Always bet against the Knicks. This Knicks team is not good. They're not good, folks, honestly. Truly trash. One of the worst teams in the league. I'd rather bet the Hornets than the Knicks at the current moment. All right, so the Lakers getting it done. LeBron triple-double, 29 points, 10 assists, 13 rebounds. We get Anthony Davis, 28 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks. And then Malik Monk, what an absolute performance here. 29 points on 4 of 8 from the 3. And what we always say, folks, Malik Monk is going to be the key piece of if this Lakers team has success or doesn't. And he showed out big time last night. And then obviously comes the big Russell Westbrook argument debate. He was a minus 15 on the floor, ended up getting benched in overtime. They didn't let him play in overtime, and the Lakers looked pretty good. Malik Monk could truly run this team. He could run point. I mean, he can drive. He's not as explosive as Russell Westbrook, but he's a better shooter. He can facilitate the floor. He's great at dribbling and driving and just kind of working his way into the paint and finessefully where he can kind of, get to the bucket and have that easy layup. He can drive decently as well as Russell Westbrook, just not as explosively athletic as Russell Westbrook, which is obviously hard to do, and that's why we love Russell Westbrook. But the debate is back once again here, folks, and I'll let y'all have that debate. What he does on the floor, folks, I know it's 100% full speed, and it doesn't always look the greatest, but, he still has, great moments, clutch moments. So he is kind of 50-50 in that regard. So, But once again, we stay away from knocking Russell Westbrook. 5 points on 10% shooting. He did have 6 assists and 4 rebounds, but once again, that minus 15 on the floor, the worst by far. It's not really what we're looking for. And then after the game here, we get Frank Vogel saying, quote, hopefully the response is that player plays better, talking about benching Russell Westbrook in overtime. So we'll see if that gets Russell Westbrook to change his ways. We don't think he's going to change his ways. I mean, he's set in his ways, folks. It's not like he's only done this season or just last season or just the last 2 seasons in a row. No, we know this is what Russell Westbrook is, and I'm fine with how Russell Westbrook is as a player. And if you want him on your team, you know you're getting the good with the bad, and you're gonna have to live and die with it. And the Lakers chose to live and die with Russell Westbrook, but now since they're losing games, LeBron and every Lakers fan and every basketball fan just wants them to throw Russell Westbrook into the trash can, and I don't think I'm here for that, folks. So Frank Vogel ends up benching him, and then, this is his response. This is what he says after the game. He says, quote, when I play bad, you guys ask me a shit ton of questions, and then when I shoot the ball well, I don't hear too many of those questions. We won the game, and that's the most important part, and that's exactly what we say of why we won't knock Russell Westbrook from here on out, folks. Y'all are so quick to call this man trash and be like, oh, a bad shot, a bad move, a bad play, something like that. But once again, we just saw against the Clippers, yes, we know that they didn't win the game, but he had the go-ahead score with 16 seconds left to Anthony Davis to lob. It was great, and everybody was crickets on it. So, Russell Westbrook, I doubt he changes his ways because he got benched here, but, he understands what game y'all play. He sees what y'all say every single night, folks, but he still doesn't change. He's going to do what he does here. It got him to the NBA. It got him on massive big teams. He's played with the best players in the world, James Harden, LeBron James, all those, Kevin Durant, where he started, and, he's still here in the league, still kicking. So we still give Russell Westbrook some credit here at Takes by Fans, folks. So Lakers getting it done last night because of Malik Monk's great third quarter. And then for the Knicks, RJ Barrett, I mean, what a great start by him, and he was really consistent all night. 36 points, 5 assists, 8 rebounds, shooting 4 of 10 from the 3. Julius Randle, this was probably his best game. He was aggressive. He was taking mid-range jumpers. Some shots that I thought, oh my God, these are going to be real bad clanks, but they ended up being real great shot selection at the end of the day, and they ended up falling. So Julius Randle's best game. RJ Barrett, I don't know if this is his best game of the season, but definitely, top tier. Julius Randle, 32 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and they still don't win. They still can't win the game. Evan Fournier, 15 points, but he shot 35%, and he had some real garbage plays in clutch time. A ball that was going out of bounds off of the Lakers. He ends up saving it right to LeBron James for an easy breakaway slam that always gets the crowd, the home team Lakers fans, energized. He ended up, he made a good pass as well, but once again, Evan Fournier just inconsistent, super inconsistent, can't really score that well. It makes, bad errors that cost them the win. I mean, the Knicks really, could have won the game last night. They could have easily won the game last night. But all the mistakes that, Evan Fournier was making, and then Malik Monk's great performance, great shooting performance, and all of that. So Knicks had multiple opportunities to win this game, but squandered every single one of them. And then we get Kemba Walker, 7 points, 3 assists. He had one big shot. I think he had a 3 in the first quarter to kind of build that big lead, but nothing sustainable here. So once again, everybody on the Knicks are not good. Even if, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle have a good game, it won't matter. They won't win it. That's why they're our sponsors, and we'll cash in every single game. We have no problem cashing in. Absolutely. So Lakers get the big win, 122-115. All right, next game up here is the Bucks at the Blazers, and the Bucks absolutely blow them out, 137-108 for the Bucks last night. Giannis, 29 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. Chris Middleton, classic regular season Chris Middleton, 14 points on 2 of 7 from the 3. He did have 5 steals and 7 assists, so we'll give him credit for that. Bobby Portis still holding it down at the 5, 30 points. He led the team in scoring, 6 of 8 from 3. What the hell is going on here? Giannis even hit 4 threes last night. I mean, Blazers, what the hell? You gave up 10 threes to Giannis and Bobby Portis. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Honestly, they should be kicked out of the league for letting this happen. Giannis also shot 73% from the free throw line on 15 shots as well. What are y'all doing out here? Man, oh man. What a performance by the Bucks last night. And then Drew Holiday, 9.7 assists, and our man Grayson Allen, 8 points on 6 shots. Shout out to Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench with 10 points. And then for the Blazers last night, we get Anthony Simons, 19 points, 3 assists. We get CJ McCollum, 17 points, 6 assists. He shot 1 of 8 from the 3, not that great. Nurkic, 11 points, 10 rebounds. He was a minus 36 on the floor. That was the worst, and, that's what you get when you go against the bigs of the Bucks, folks. It's tough down there. And that was really it. There was some good bench production from Ben McLemore, 19 points, and Greg Brown III, 10 points, 4 rebounds in 16 minutes coming off the bench. But Blazers, man, they've been disappointing us. They're on this downturn, and we're not liking it. So this Blazers bettability is truly coming down, and it's almost at zero. I'd probably say it's now at like 20% bettability in this Blazers team. But then we have this right here. Let's talk about this. The Mavericks and the Pelicans are among teams interested in CJ McCollum. So seems like the Blazers, because we get this, league executives reportedly believe the Blazers will trade McCollum at the deadline or this summer. So it doesn't seem like they're going to be keeping CJ McCollum. This Blazers team, they've got to try and do something to try and get back into a playoff spot. What do we got the Blazers at? They're currently the 10th seed in the Western Conference, and they're close to losing it to the Pelicans. So the Blazers must do something. 3-7 in their last 10. It's just not working out. So seems like they're going to be trading CJ McCollum. Once again, you could probably trade Damian Lillard as well. Can't trade him right now at the trade deadline because he's injured, but probably in the summer. So seems like they're going to blow up the team, which is probably what you have to do because McCollum and Lillard have proven that they just can't get over that hump and win the finals or get to the finals. They've had a couple of seasons, of solid play, getting a little deep into the playoffs. I think they got to the Western Conference Finals one year. But it's just not working out. And CJ McCollum, he could be great. They say the Mavericks or the Pelicans are among teams interested, and if he goes to the Pelicans, that's exactly where we want to see him. They would have a little bit of a big three. It wouldn't be, an elite big three, but it would still be a solid big three of Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, and then you get the score, the outside shooter, CJ McCollum, to try to fill in a little bit of some outside shooting gaps that you have. Brandon Ingram, Valanciunas, they're a little bit more better down low inside. So CJ McCollum spreads the floor, gives you that lethal three-point shot. So I'm really loving for the Pelicans to pick him up. Or if he goes to the Mavericks, I think he'd get a little bit lost in the shuffle. The Mavericks already have a lot of outside shooting pieces. I don't know if McCollum makes them any better. But the Pelicans, they would definitely, start to trend up, and the bettability for the Pelicans would truly go through the roof if they get CJ McCollum. So we'll keep an eye on that. Trade deadline, I believe, is coming up this week. I want to say Wednesday or Thursday. So it's going to get interesting in the NBA, right as the NFL season's coming to a close, and we can shift focus to the NBA to see who the real teams are and who aren't. But shout out to the Pelicans for potentially getting CJ McCollum. I would really love to see that happen. So the Bucks get the win, 137-108. And then the last game of the night here, the Thunder at the Kings. Kings get the win here, 113-103. For the Kings, still no De'Aaron Fox, so Davion Mitchell in the starting lineup, 17 points, only 2 assists, but okay, because Tyrese Halliburton had all the assists. He was hogging all the assists. 13 points, 17 assists. 17 assists. It's just absolutely fantastic. Raquan Holmes at the 5, 14.6 rebounds, and Maurice Harkless, 18 points, 11 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 24 points, 5 assists, 9 rebounds. A really great production by everybody in the starting lineup. And then we get Buddy Hield coming off the bench, only taking 6 threes, hit 3 of them, 9 points overall. So, Kings get the win, and once again, keep an eye on this Kings team of what they do at the trade deadline. And then for the Thunder, no Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, no Luguentz Dort, so no chance of winning. Josh Giddey out here by his lonesome, 24 points, 8 assists, got it done. himself just unfortunately could not, get the other help that he needed out here. Trey Mann had a solid 16 points, but on 33% shooting. Darius Baisley, 18 points, 7 assists. That was really well done, but that was really all that they had last night. So missing their key starters, their key stars, and they lose the game 113-103. And then quickly, before we move off of what is going on in the NBA, before we look ahead of betting it today, we did miss a trade. We did not do the show yesterday, but a trade happened, and man, oh man, the Clippers got even better. So watch out for this Clippers team, folks. They're going to make a run here, even without Paul George, and I wouldn't want to face this Clippers team in the playoffs, first round, second round, any round, no, and they even got better. So Clippers and the Blazers have a trade, and the Clippers absolutely won the trade hands down. The Clippers get Norman Powell and Robert Covington from the Blazers. Clippers getting a huge, great, consistent score of Norman Powell. That's a little bit of what they're missing. A little bit of a superstar. Not a superstar, but he's kind of like the next tier under superstar, I would say. He can give us great scoring production, and that's really what the Clippers need. Just another score to kind of help out the overall role players that the Clippers currently only have, not having Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Robert Covington, another kind of decent facilitator of the floor, nice little beef as well. So Clippers getting absolutely better. And then this is what the Blazers got. Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, and a second round pick. All that is trash. All that is truly garbage, folks. I mean, the Blazers, I don't even know why they make this trade. You lose Norman Powell. This is who you just traded for. You got rid of Gary Trent Jr. last season for Norman Powell, and then Norman Powell getting traded again. So Norman Powell, I'm pretty sure he's a little, upset that they keep trading him, but now he's on a Clippers team that can make a couple of waves, I would say, in the playoff race as a whole. So, man, oh man, the Clippers, their bet ability is absolutely trending upwards, where the Blazers, now they're looking to get rid of McCollum. They're blowing everything up. They're building for the future, which they should do, absolutely, because Anthony Simons is proving that, he could be a really good solid one here, facilitator of the floor, get you the scoring production, all that. And once again, CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, they just have not been able to get over the hurdle. So Blazers are looking to sell. Clippers are buying, and we will be betting on the Clippers, absolutely. Alrighty, so that was all the NBA from last night. Now let's shift gears to the NBA today and tonight. Tons of games on today. Starting at 3:30, we get a 6, couple of 6s, a 7, a 9. So basketball on all day today, competing with the Pro Bowl. So more options to bet, more options to make some money. So let's find that great value for y'all, shall we? So here we go. First game up, we get the Pistons at the Timberwolves. Pistons plus 12, Timberwolves minus 12 here. We like this Timberwolves team, folks, absolutely. Don't know if I like swallowing 12 with them. Potential backdoor cover. This Pistons team, they do anything good? No, three-game losing streak, yikes. So for the ins and outs, for the Pistons, Cade Cunningham is a game-time decision, and once again, ever since Jeremy Grant's been back, they just haven't really, won any games. So we'll see if they start to be competitive anytime soon. And then for the Timberwolves, we get Patrick Beverley, game-time decision. D'Angelo Russell, game-time decision. Do we finally get D'Angelo Russell back? We are absolutely hoping so. So we're going to stay away from this one. Like the Timberwolves here, but don't really want to swallow 12. Maybe do like a first half spread. I think that's always the better play when you get like such an extreme spread, to kind of stay away from backdoor covers. Bet the first half. The spread's usually about half of what it is. So Timberwolves minus 6 going into halftime. That seems like the better play if you want to bet this game. We're going to stay away from it officially, though. All right, next game up here, we get the Nets at the Nuggets. Nets plus 8. Wow, Nets plus 8, Nuggets minus 8. And this just seems like such big-time respect to this Nuggets team that do they deserve the big-time respect here? They definitely deserve a little respect. How Jokic has just been able to really handle the entire team by himself and, still getting wins. I mean, they're still 6 in the Western Conference and 6-4 in their last 10. But to go 8 here with the Nets, I think that's absolutely disrespectful. We know the Nuggets are absolutely going to win the battle down low. I mean, it's not even going to be a competition. Jokic is going to feast all day. But this Nets team on the road with Kyrie Irving, and we get 8 points, that's seeming like great value to me. So let's make sure everybody's in and out here, and that's why. Alrighty, we get James Harden is still out. LaMarcus Aldridge also out here, so losing a little bit of their depth. That is still going to get steamrolled. And Nicholas Claxton is out as well. Oh my God. So it's going to be like Blake Griffin by himself down low trying to handle this man. Let's make sure all these outs are, Nicholas Claxton out, James Harden out. This is all coming in the last 20 minutes, folks. So, man, oh man. Yeah, definitely staying away from this one. If James Harden's playing, I'm taking the 8. But without James Harden, just Kyrie by himself, he can't get it done. He doesn't even want to be the point guard. He doesn't like to be the point guard. So now he has to be the true point guard and the main scorer. It's not working out. So definitely staying away from this game. Thought we had it for a moment. Gonna stay away from it in total. All right, next game up here, we get the 76ers at the Bulls. 76ers -2, Bulls +2. And this is going to be a real interesting, great gauge game here. 76ers coming off of a 2-game losing streak, losing to the Mavericks just the other night, losing to the Wizards. Not great looks either way you slice it. And then this Bulls team, once again, just being good with, a little bit without their depth there and all that. So shout out to this Bulls team of still keeping it on track. But for the 76ers, we get Matisse Thybulle, a game-time decision alongside Furkan Korkmaz. Where the Bulls, we get Zach LaVine, a game-time decision. Kobe White is also a game-time decision. So definitely need those players to play here. But this Bulls team just trending up, and we're going to get Vooch versus Joel Embiid. That should be pretty good. Pretty good matchup here, but I'm going to go with the Bulls. I think I'm going to bet the Bulls here, folks. Let's take the 2 points. This 76ers team, they just have not been as dominant as they have been in the beginning of the season, and it's truly unfortunate out here. But this Bulls team at home, trending upwards, always consistent here with the 76ers is a little bit of an up and down team over the last, I would probably say over the last month, absolutely. A little bit of too much up and down for us. I'll bet on the home team Bulls here to get it done. Bulls +2. We're officially taking that. All right, then we get the Hawks at the Mavericks, and I think I love this one too. Jeez Louise. Hawks +2, Mavericks -2. For the Hawks, Danilo Gallinari's game-time decision alongside John Collins and Lou Williams. Where the Mavericks, we get Tim Hardaway Jr. out and Kristaps Porzingis is still out as well. Maxi Kleber, a game-time decision. But this Hawks team, they've turned the corner. This is a real legitimate team now. Absolutely. They're 8-2 in their last 10. I'm loving this Hawks team. Once again, the Mavericks, not truly buying into them. I don't know, other than that 7-game win streak, what was that, like last month, this Mavericks team still a little bit of up and down, inconsistent, especially without Porzingis. So give me the +2 here, folks. Bulls +2, Hawks +2. I'm loving it, and we still got 4 more games to go, so let's see if we find any more great value tonight. We get the Celtics at the Magic. Celtics -9.5, Magic +9.5. And is this what we just said when we were breaking down the Magic? Like, we thought the Celtics would be kind of the maximum team that we would bet the Magic for. Luckily, we don't have to make that decision because the Magic are on the back-to-back. So this is going to be a great gauge game. Is this Magic team the real deal or not? Can they be competitive against some type of better team, not just trash team? So this is going to be real interesting. Magic +9.5. I am very tempted to take it, but we already got 2 other great values, so we are going to stay away from betting this game. Just quickly, everybody's good to go for the Celtics, and then for the Magic, we get Mo Bamba as a game-time decision. Expect that man to not play. So, gonna stay away from this one, but this is it, Magic. This is truly, we're gonna gauge the Magic strictly off of this one game alone, and this is gonna stick for a little bit until they can prove consistency here. So this is it, Magic. Do or die, real or frauds, bettability, no bettability. It's all coming down to the game tonight here against the Celtics. Go out and get it done so we can talk about you positively here on the show, folks. All right, final 30 games up. We get the Pacers at the Cavs. Pacers +5.5. Cavs -5.5 here. Is Darius Garland back for the Cavs? Please, please, please. And for the Pacers, we get T.J. McConnell out, Malcolm Brogdon, game time decision, Sabonis, game time decision, Miles Turner's out, Goga Batadze is a game time decision as well. For the Cavs, we get Darius Garland's a game time decision. Okay, if Darius Garland is playing, folks, I will swallow the 5.5 here for the Cavs. Let's see if we have any update on our man Darius Garland. Please, we're hoping. We get any news here? Any news here on our man Darius Garland? Not seeing it here. And I've also kind of figured out a little bit of a hack here for game time decisions to see if Vegas is leaning toward them playing or not playing. I found a little bit of a hack. You go to the prop bet, and we're using Draftkings here. So let's use Draftkings. I was going to do it on my phone, but I can show y'all. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about here. So Cavs minus 5.5. Is this spread factored in with Darius Garland in mind that he is going to play, or is this spread factored in he's not going to play? We're going to learn something right now, folks. So we go to player props. Then we go to, you can go to any category, but the category I like to kind of, bet on are points plus rebounds plus assists. So all the players that, they are comfortable playing and setting a spread value at 4 points, rebounds, and assists total, they'll have them here. And so far, it's only Evan Mobley, Isaac Okoro, and Jared Allen. So Vegas is truly not sure, leaning toward, Darius Garland not playing, because if he was, kind of leaning towards playing, they would put his odds up here for any kind of player prop. So seems like Vegas is more towards leaning that he is not going. So this spread of now only -5 is actually kind of factored in of no Darius Garland. So if you believe Darius Garland is going to play, I would take the -5 now, because once it is announced that Darius Garland is going to play, if he is going to play, this spread is going to increase probably to Cavs -6.5, somewhere around that area. So I love the Cavs here, and if we get the green light for Darius Garland, we will take this game, but as of right now, we will stay away from it. So check around to our Twitter a little bit later in the day. This game tipping off at 6 o'clock. We'll probably know more around 4 or 5. So we will tweet it out if we do endorse the Cavs based on Darius Garland. So head over to our Twitter account to stay on top of all that, folks. Get the notifications. Get the follow. Stay up to date, folks. Okay. All right, last 2 games here. Any more good value with the Pelicans at the Rockets? Pelicans -5, Rockets +5, and I'm loving this Pelicans team out here. Pelicans plus the points over the Nuggets on Friday was great value that we did not take, and I'm kicking myself for, but I'm going to make up for it a little bit here, swallowing the 5 if everybody's good to go. For the Pelicans, we get Josh Hart, a game time decision. Willie Hernandez-Gomez is out, and that's really it. We still get Zion out as well. For the Rockets, everybody's good to go, but we know this Rockets team is absolutely not good. I'm going to take the Pelicans -5 here tonight. And then the last game, Bucks at the Clippers. Bucks on the back-to-back, so we're staying away from it. Bucks -3.5, Clippers +3.5 here. For the Clippers, do we get our man? Is he going to play tonight? Is Norman Powell going to play tonight, folks? He's not listed as out on the chart, so we may get Norman Powell's first game here for the Clippers, but we will stay away from it because it is the back-to-back with the Bucks, and we'll see how Norman Powell, if he does play tonight, factors into this Clippers team overall. So we're going to stay away from betting the Clippers, but we'll be back to betting the Clippers in no time, folks. Let's give it a day. Let's get Norman Powell acclimated. Let's not bet on a back-to-back first of all to kind of get a bad taste in our mouth if it doesn't cover, and then we're kind of cursing the Clippers, be like, oh, we just bet on them, didn't hit. Well, we rushed it. That's why. So let's not rush anything here, folks. We got 3 great picks here. I'm loving all these values. Bulls +2, Hawks +2, Pelicans -5. I'm absolutely loving it. Alrighty, that is all the NBA we had to go over for today, folks. So now let's shift gears to the NFL. And before we start looking into Pro Bowl bets, before we start looking at Mac Jones in the skills competition. Let's quickly go over some news here, coaching news, who's going to be potentially on teams next season news, and let's start talking about the NFL. So the first one up here is Doug Peterson. He just had his kind of introductory press conference the other day, so we get some quotes by this man, and I'm not loving the one that they're leading with, so hopefully we can kind of read into it and get something that's not truly saying what I think he's trying to say, because this is exactly what we do not want to hear, and we're kind of knocking coaches that are saying this. So here we go. The kind of tweet or the kind of headline out here is Doug Peterson eager for challenge of rebuilding the Jaguars, saying, quote, "This is not an overnight fix." Alrighty, I get it, not trying to kind of rush into it, an overnight fix, kind of hinting toward, building foundation, which we absolutely hate. We do not need to do that anymore. You don't need to come in 2 years to build a foundation, another 2 years just to get to like 6 wins, and then year 4 or 5, that's when we go for it. That is outdated thinking. We've seen big time proving that you do not need to do that. We just get, right here, the Bengals. Joe Burrow, even coming back from a big old time injury, doesn't matter, 2 years turn around and now they're in the Super Bowl, something Andy Dalton and AJ Green, multiple years, multiple foundations laid, could never do. Okay, so let's read this article. Let's see what Doug Peterson is truly saying, which we hope he's not saying. If he says the word foundation here, folks, it's going to leave a real bad taste in our mouth after we've just been truly gushing over the hire here. So let's read some quotes here by Doug Peterson, what he's saying, what he's expecting from the team, how long it's expecting to take, and what we should be expecting from the Jaguars this season. So here we go. Let's just read some quotes here. Let's read the lead up here. First quote, first lead up. Here we go. Peterson made sure in his opening remarks to express to the fans in Duval County that he hopes to bring better fortune following a tumultuous season under Urban Meyer. Says, quote, "I know you've been through a lot even this past season, but that's about to change." All righty. Coming and being like, all right, this is my team now. The past is the past. I'm better than Urban Meyer, obviously. And, he's got Super Bowl experience. So the Jaguars truly should be embracing Doug Peterson, and everything that I've seen so far, y'all are doing just that. So well done to y'all. This is the real deal coach right here. All right, next lead up. Here we go. After taking a year away from the game, Peterson hopes to bring the success he found during his 5 seasons with the Eagles, a stint that included a 46-39 regular season road record. 46-39-1 regular season record, and a victory over Tom Brady and the Patriots in Super Bowl 4 years ago, saying, quote, "It was a great year for me. I had opportunities to get back in the NFL at the end of the season last year, and I felt like at the time I needed a break. I needed to step away and kind of just refocus myself, kind of recenter everything about me. I knew still in my heart of hearts that I did want to coach and still be a head coach in this league and still be successful. That never left. I just needed time to kind of just step away and gather myself a little bit." And, I think it's more that, no teams are really kind of interested in Doug Peterson last season for whatever reason. It still seemed like Doug Peterson was trying to get a job late last year, but nobody was calling him. So he took a year off here. He's refocused. He's watched the entire NFL from kind of just like a secondary view, just taking it all in, knowing what he needs to do, focusing on the teams that we're looking for a coach. And here he is now with Trevor Lawrence and a potentially trending upwards team of the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, next lead up. Here we go. The Jaguars have a few shiny franchise cornerstones already in place. Trevor Lawrence, linebacker Josh Allen, running back James Robinson, but there are a number of building blocks that still need to be laid. Peterson is ready to build that foundation. No, please. He's not saying this, so hopefully this is just, what this writer was kind of putting in the lead up here. I cannot have the words foundation, we're building a foundation, come out of Doug Peterson's mouth, or we're going to have to put that on our kind of, growing thought list on all these coaches here, and this is going to be a big black mark on Doug Peterson this season. So here we go. Doug Peterson, I am crossing my fingers. I do not want to hear the words foundation come out of your mouth. Here we go. Quote, "This is not an overnight fix. This is not we're just going to snap our fingers and start winning football games. Our goal is to win football games, but we're going to do it one player, one coach, one person in the organization at a time. And I'll challenge our team, and I'll challenge our fans. It's about ownership. It's about support. It's about leadership, truly that. And that's what I'll bring. That's what I'll bring to the organization, and I'm not going to settle for anything less than a championship caliber team. So, alrighty. Some great things here. He's going to be the leader. He's going to be the leader. And that's exactly what all coaches should be saying. I'm going to be the leader. We know Urban Meyer wasn't a leader. He was calling out everybody on their flaws, telling everybody, hey, prove your resume to me, almost on a daily basis, especially the head coaches or the assistant coaches. Like, hey, y'all haven't won, so why the hell are you questioning me? What is your resume? What have you done? Well, Urban Meyer, you haven't done anything in the NFL. Once again, Nick Saban, nothing in the NFL. Great college, nothing in the NFL. Urban Meyer the same way, and this man had the gall, the audacity to question his coaches and players on a daily basis. That is not leadership, folks, at all. With players and coaches kind of not scared of you, but miserable running into you, looking at just being a coach, doing your thing, and then you turn around and Urban Meyer's right there. It just drains you. You're not scared, but you're just like, oh, this guy, oh man, I don't want this interaction. You're kind of looking off, not making eye contact with them because you don't want to be harassed, you don't want to be hounded, and you don't want to be disrespected, and not kind of, when you're when you're on a team, when you're in a relationship, you should feel 1000% comfortable with everybody on that team or in that relationship, because that makes you feel fine. And then, when you're kind of at, your most zen, you're not anxious because, these people on your team or in your relationship could snap in an instant and just ruin your whole mood, ruin your whole day. That, takes a toll on you physically, mentally. And, when it comes time to get it done in the biggest situation, clutch mode, and you've got, Urban Meyer, his Hawkeye staring down at you like, if you don't make this play, so help me God, you will leave this team right now. You will not make it back to the bus. You will not make it back to the locker room. You don't want that. You don't want that, bosses micromanaging you. If you do something wrong, if you have to fix it or not, but to get that heart from the head coach, that just builds so much tension in the locker room and in the culture, folks. It can really derail and ruin an entire team. So the fact that Doug Peterson's out here being like, hey, I'm going to be the leader, and truly focusing in, it's all about leadership, and that's what I'll bring. I'm going to be the leader. I'm not going to bring in other people to be the leader. I'm going to lead by example, something that the Jaguars have really not had with the head coach in a big time, long time. So he didn't say build foundation, which is fantastic. Still said, hey, our goal is to win. You're going to take it a little bit slow here. One player, one coach, one everything at a time, but not using that word foundation. So, we can give Doug Peterson still our glowing recommendation here, a big old 2 thumbs up, green flag, whatever you want to call it. Doug Peterson is still, fantastic. Still fantastic. Love it. And love that he's truly saying, hey, I'm going to be the leader here. We praise leadership here on the show. Alrighty, we get 2 more quotes. 2 more quotes? Yes, 2 more quotes. Let's read the lead up here quickly. All right, despite having an up-and-down rookie year, Lawrence, the number 1 overall pick in 2021, is the guy the front office hopes will one day live up to his star potential. Peterson, a former NFL quarterback who played 13 seasons, demonstrated through his time with the young Carson Wentz that he knows how to groom young talent at that position. Coaching Lawrence was a noteworthy draw for Peterson when scouring the market, and, that's what we thought. That's kind of why we wanted him in Miami and thought he would want to go to Miami, is because he has to Trevor Lawrence with the Jaguars, always, an option, absolutely, because of that reason, and he ends up deciding with the Jaguars. Alrighty, here we go. He says, quote, that's something I obviously looked at with the teams that were searching for head coaches. Who is the quarterback, and is that person in place? And here it is. I truly believe that. Everything, as I've done my research on Trevor and talked to people, even talked to coaches who played against them this past year, say nothing but great things, and kind of the sky's the limit. I'm just excited to come in here, roll up my sleeves, and get to work. Create a system that enhances his skill set to be successful. Folks, are you hearing all the words that Doug Peterson is saying? If I'm a general manager, owner, conducting an interview, and my coaching candidate is not truly saying these words and harping in on these words, leadership. And I'm ready to create a system. I'm not bringing in a system where everybody must fit into that system. I'm going to build a new system for Trevor Lawrence. This is exactly what we want to hear from Doug Peterson. And I'm going to write these down on our list here that we've got going. So the Jaguars, I'm going to put big stars here, big old stars, leadership, and tailored system for Trevor. I mean, this is exactly, folks, what you want to hear. Something that, defensive-minded coaches, I don't think truly harp on. They're not interested in building the system for the quarterback because they don't work offensively. They'll have the offensive coordinator come in, and now we have to, leave it up to the offensive coordinator to, be the leader and tailor the system to the guys on the roster, not have a pre-built. So that just kind of gets overlooked, I think, when you have a defensive guy at the head coaching spot. So I'm absolutely loving everything I'm hearing so far. And we get one more quote. Can this man, make us gush over him even more? Let's find out. We get one more quote. Last lead up here. Among the many topics discussed during Peterson's lengthy presser, his excitement to be back in the NFL stood out in his response on more than one occasion. It won't be easy. It rarely is for any coach, but Peterson made it clear he's aware of the challenges ahead. The reception he's received thus far has helped him as he gets his new job going. Says, quote, the excitement that I've already seen, the enthusiasm surrounding the Jaguars from the time my wife and I hit the ground this morning to the folks at the airport, and that to me sends a great message to me personally, and now as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, because it's a fan base here that desperately wants to win. And so for me to come here today, I just felt that just walking in this building, I'm also excited with the new building coming in the future, and that just drives enthusiasm, and we're just here to continue that growth and put a product on the field that people are proud to support. There was nothing proud to support with Urban Meyer at the helm, folks. So, man, oh man, seems like the Jaguars got the best hire here, bringing in Doug Peterson, and hopefully Doug Peterson, can kind of, reignite what he did with that Eagles team, winning quickly, competitive quickly, winning quickly. So, we'll see how it all works out, but everything Doug Peterson is saying, I am buying. I am absolutely buying Doug Peterson here and everything that he has to say. So, Doug Peterson, folks, Jaguars, there's reason to celebrate, folks, absolutely. Alrighty, now some more news here quickly. The 49ers are expected to have interest in Tyrod Taylor in the offseason to fill their backup role at quarterback. Now, we know Trey Lance is going to start. They're moving Jimmy Garoppolo. They're actively looking to trade him. Jimmy Garoppolo knows this. They're working together to find the perfect fit for Jimmy G. And all they're really asking in for return is like a second-round pick. So, I mean, they're not even asking that much for Jimmy Garoppolo. So we'll see which team he does end up getting traded to. But to bring Tyrod Taylor as kind of a backup here, I think it's fantastic. He's got that veteran leadership, dual threat, just like Trey Lance wants to be. I still don't believe in Trey Lance, but overall, I think this is a nice fit. Bring in Tyrod Taylor, who has that experience, who can push Trey Lance, and if Trey Lance isn't, getting it done, I think Tyrod Taylor can come in and be as successful, maybe as Jimmy Garoppolo. Has to cut down on the turnovers and score in the red zone, but, with Kyle Shanahan's, genius, he can get it done, absolutely. So we'll see how this kind of turns out, and we'll see if Tyrod Taylor is a great mentor for Trey Lance, can push Trey Lance to where he needs to be to start an NFL game and to kind of be the franchise guy. So Tyrod Taylor getting another shot, and, we'll see what he takes and how he makes the most of it. Probably, it's going to be tough for this man to be the starter. I would not expect Tyrod Taylor to be the starter, but, if Trey Lance is as bad as I think he's going to be, Tyrod Taylor could be, waiting in the wings, and we'll see how that works out. But 49ers are expected to have interest in the man. All right, now we get this, and I think it's time to move on, but the Titans are doubling down and sticking with Ryan Tannehill. Titans general manager John Robinson on Ryan Tannehill's future in Tennessee says, quote, he's our quarterback. I don't know how many times I got to say it. So they're going with Ryan Tannehill more again next season, all that. We think we liked Gardner Minshew as a starter. We kind of saw that being thrown out there. I could get behind Gardner Minshew over Ryan Tannehill. I think that would be a little bit of an upgrade. We know what Ryan Tannehill is. We've seen his ceiling multiple times in the playoffs. We haven't seen him getting any better in the playoffs. He just had 3 interceptions. Not all 100% his fault, some on maybe the offensive play calling, but also on Ryan Tannehill. You must know these situations. You must recognize these situations. That kind of screen pass, not seeing that safety come off the edge, and he just throws it right into him. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, we have to see some kind of veteran smart out of this man to truly be that leader on the field, making the right calls and all that. But, he doesn't see the edge, the corner coming off the edge, and he throws it right to him, bats it up, and that's an easy pick that really kind of, hurt the Titans in the playoff game this season. So, don't know if Ryan Tannehill is the best fit anymore. I think we've truly seen his ceiling, but Titans are still rocking with them. We'll see how long and this holds up. Is this just something they're saying, the classic business side, and he's using the language, he's our quarterback. He's not saying he's our quarterback right now, which is kind of, when something fishy's going on. Well, yeah, right now, this moment, as of February 6th at 1 p.m. Eastern time, he is our quarterback right now, yes. I mean, that's when something, yes, because in tomorrow, 1 minute from now, it's not now, and he's not our quarterback. But he just says he's our quarterback. So seems like they are going to be keeping him. I don't know if that's the right call, but we'll see if Ryan Tannehill can take that next step into getting to the Super Bowl, and we'll see how he does in the Super Bowl. All right, and then we get this. Russell Wilson, another quarterback out here. Seattle quarterback Russell Wilson, quote, wants to know his options this offseason. So we got last year, big blow up to the line and to Pete Carroll. Then they kind of, came to reconciliation with everybody, and kind of the story was squashed in a week. And then we had this entire season where nothing really was good. He was still pressured, the offense was truly lacking, and now we're back to Russell Wilson wants to know his options. So it seems like Russell Wilson is truly going to be pushing this season to get out of Seattle, and we'll see how that plays out. So expect a lot of shake-up here in the NFL, folks, this offseason, and we'll be here delivering all the news and speculation and takes here for you, folks, so no worries. All right, and then the last thing to cover quickly, we have a couple of, statements out here regarding the whole Brian Flores lawsuit with the NFL. So the NFL with Roger Goodell sent a memo to all clubs. Was this on Friday? Saturday morning. Roger Goodell sent a memo to all clubs this morning regarding coaching diversity and admitted, quote, the results have been unacceptable. So let's read this memo here. And once again, remember when the lawsuit first came out, everyone was using kind of, there's no merit. Everyone was saying the same thing. There's absolutely no merit. There's absolutely no truth. This is so out of whack. It's wild to even be saying right now. And we know that's not true. I mean, just off the one instance alone of, the Bill Belichick text of, hey, they're already going with Brian Daboll, even though they didn't interview Brian Flores. At the minimum, that is some merit right there. Whether you believe it or not, that is at least merit. So the fact that the NFL was saying, oh my God, there's absolutely zero merit in that, we knew it was a little bit of baloney, and now we're getting this memo that kind of, negates everything that Roger Goodell said on the actual day it happened. So, once again, everybody's just looking out for themselves. They're looking out for, the organization, the NFL, the shield, the brand, more than they are any social justice. We know this, folks. So let's read what the NFL puts out, and then we're hearing from Brian Flores' lawyer in regards to this memo right here. So this was the memo sent out by Roger Goodell. Subject, our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Says, quote, I want to address a subject that many of us have discussed together, not only this week, but consistently for many years. But Roger Goodell, there's no merit in that, right? There was no merit, but the first line, I want to address a subject that many of us have discussed together, so you know this is going on. You're discussing it, not together, not only this week, but for many years. So once again, it was just so bizarre, and once again, like, this is like a big societal thing, and like, there will be no progress, there will be no moving forward until we address, the big glaring issues at the top. Dismissing people, and saying that they're crazy, saying that they've got no merit, when we all know that there is merit, but then you're using your language, your platform, your kind of, audience being like, oh my God, there's no merit. So the people that hear that, they go and regurgitate that, oh, there's no merit. No, there is merit. So these people that don't want to kind of move forward and will never admit to any wrongdoing, instantly writing off people that do have some kind of, there is some facts backing up the remarks, but instantly writing them off as, no merit in crazy, folks. It's wild that that's your first instance, not to kind of look back and reflect, but to attack and be like, no, what are you talking about? You're crazy to say that. There is obviously no. But then 2 days later, you release this memo. I mean, it's maddening. It's truly maddening how we all do the same things and then expect different results and then have the same conversation a year later. It's like we're seeing it plays out the same exact way every single time. And nobody has a problem with it. And then we all fall into the same thing of getting mad. And then, they did one thing. And then they, go back on that. And then we're all mad again. And then they fix it, because of one thing. And then they go back on it. And then they fix it kind of because of one thing. And then they, it's the cycle, folks. Back to the memo. Here we go. Racism and any form of discrimination is contrary to the NFL's values. We have made significant efforts to promote diversity and adopted numerous policies and programs which have produced positive change in many areas. However, we must acknowledge that particularly with respect to head coaches, the results have been unacceptable. Results have been unacceptable with respect to head coaches, but there's no merit to Brian Flores. What are you talking about? Seriously. Back to the memo, quote, we will reevaluate and examine all policies, guidelines, and initiatives relating to diversity, equity, and inclusion, including as they relate to gender. Gender? Okay, well, we're doing race at the current moment. Now he's going to gender, trying to kind of deflect it, be like, oh no, this is all about gender. Oh, there's a race problem here? Oh no, we're talking about the gender problem at the current moment. All right, I don't get, okay. But back to this. We are retaining outside experts to assist in this review and will also solicit input from current and former players and coaches, advocates, and other authorities in this area. Our goal is simple: make our efforts and those of the clubs more effective so that real and tangible results will be achieved. We understand the concerns expressed by Coach Flores and others this week. While the legal process moves forward, we will not wait to reassess and modify our strategies to ensure that they are consistent with our values and longstanding commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yeah, we're not going to wait. We're going to do some good things so we get cheered in the national media, and hopefully the lawsuit just fades into oblivion and everyone champions. Oh my God, do you see the new rule that they implemented? Oh my God, it's so good, and the NFL is doing good, and they're changing. And then next season we'll have a same issue right here, a same letter, a same memo, and we'll be doing this all over again. Because nobody's admitting to any fault. Admit that you are at fault. Admit that you did wrong. And then truly mean it when you say, hey, we're going to fix it and do better. Actually mean it. Nobody wants to take any responsibility ever. All right. Here we go. Back at it. Lost our place, but we're right here. Back quote. In particular, we recognize the need to understand the lived experiences of diverse members of the NFL family to ensure that everyone has access to opportunity and is treated with respect and dignity. We also take seriously any issue relating to the integrity of NFL games. These matters, this truly, right here, this is what the memo should be about, folks. Truly, this is, oh my goodness. We also take seriously any issue relating to the integrity of NFL games. These matters will be reviewed thoroughly and independently. We expect that these independent experts will receive full cooperation from everyone associated with the league or any member club as this this work proceeds. There is much work to do, and we will embrace this moment and seize the opportunity to become a stronger, more inclusive league. Yeah, okay. Classic words, classic boilerplate. Once again, we have the same discussion every single year. So that's what Roger Goodell puts out in writing for everybody to read after he just said Brian Flores had no merit. How absolutely insane is that? So now statement, we're going to read a statement from Doug Wigder and John John Eleftherakis, the attorneys of Brian Flores, in response to the NFL statement. So now this is what the lawyers are saying. They say, quote, unfortunately, immediately after Coach Flores filed the class action lawsuit, the NFL and various teams reflexively and without any investigation denied the detailed allegations set forth in the 60-page complaint. Once again, should we become lawyers, folks? Maybe I'm in the wrong field. Maybe I should be a lawyer because that's exactly what we were saying. Oh my, they just wrote it off instantly, but now we're saying this? What are you talking about? They should win the lawsuit just based off that memo alone. You go to the judge, what evidence do you have that, the party knew that they were wrong? You hold up the letter, be like, hey, They know there was a race problem. They've been saying it for years. They said it in the memo years. We've been talking about this for years. Right here. That's your evidence. And the judge is like, yes, guilty. Brian Flores wins. It's going to be that simple, folks. Jeez, maybe I should be the judge. I could be, I'm going to do I'm going to have a law channel. I will give a law advice on my next channel. Takes by lawyers. Yes, folks? It's already up on YouTube. We're going to have our first video tomorrow, okay? All right, back to the statement here. Quote, as a result, when we spoke to the national media the following day, we made clear that the NFL should view this class action lawsuit as an opportunity to engage in real change and confront the obvious reality. Take responsibility, confront, admit wrongdoing, but then you can get better. We can be wrong. We can, unfortunately, it's not even unfortunately. Everybody has done something wrong that they're not proud of in their lives. Everybody has, folks. Don't tell me you haven't, because you have. I know you have. I know your secret. You listening, I know your secret. I know it. But you can admit that you did wrong and then make up for it and then get better and move forward as a person. That's how you progress. That's how society should be progressing. Do you see any big progress in the last 50 years here? In the world? No, because everyone's still bickering and everyone's still acting like they're right and never did anything wrong, and nobody wants to admit any blame. Nobody wants to admit that they were wrong. Who cares? You're wrong. Okay, let's move forward. Let's get over it. Being wrong, I mean, that's like the worst thing, like social our kind of like social mentality has done. You just kind of villainize wrongness in any level, the smallest being wrong. Like me saying, the Lakers would have won by 6 points when they only won by 5. Oh my God, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's as small as that. So obviously as big as, oh no, I wasn't racist. Obviously that's going to scale as well. It may, can we all just stop? Can we all just stop kind of holding everybody onto this giant pedestal? People are people. People are people. How you think, millions of people think. Yes, okay? Not everybody exactly the way you think, but for the most part, we're all kind of on the same thinking level, okay? All right, back to the letter right here. Back to the statement. The statement, yep, here we are. All right, back to it. Quote, the statement made today by the commissioner is, on the surface, a positive first step, but we suspect that this is more of a public relations ploy than real commitment to change, what everybody does. Never admitting to it, putting out something for PR, and then getting praise because, oh my God, they're going to take steps. How great is that? The NFL is thinking about maybe potentially talking about, not yet, but getting to the point where they could potentially maybe start thinking about the idea of implementing potentially a change that could potentially affect race relations in the NFL. Oh my God, so great. Round of applause, award. They deserve the World Peace Award, the Nobel Prize for World Peace. Congratulations, the NFL has done it. It's nonsense, folks. All right, what else do we get to here? Quote, For too many years, the NFL has hidden behind the cover of foundations that were supposed to protect the rights of black players and coaches, all while letting systemic racial bias fester in front offices. The NFL is now rolling out the same playbook yet again, and that is precisely why this lawsuit was filed. We would be pleased to talk with the commissioner about real change, but unfortunately he has not reached out to us to engage in such a discussion. Once again, if Roger Goodell does that, he's going to kind of, admit blame without admitting it, and that affects the NFL, which affects the owners, which affects money, and they don't do it. Once again, there's so much information about, COVID, and however you think about it, whatever you think about it, there's big time information on both sides that, both make some good points. I would say there's data that truly kind of supports how both sides are kind of arguing it. But then the leaders, Dr. Fauci, he won't say more than a minute on television of buzzwords. Like, we could have a real discussion. Like, we have a president, we have like these medical professionals for a reason, and nobody wants to, give them, an hour to kind of, debate and be like, hey, I know this is all the, quote, misinformation out there, and this is why it's, quote, misinformation. Why do we never get that? Why do we never have actual discussions with the true leaders? Why is Roger Goodell not truly sitting down with these, these people that, that are kind of claiming, hey, there needs to be a change here? Why is Roger Goodell not having open discussions, open forums with people who support the NFL, who don't support the NFL, with coaches that feel like they're racially biased against, and coaches who aren't racially biased against, and getting them in a room and talking it all through, and, dispelling, misinformation and rumors and all that? Why do we never get that? Why do we never dispel misinformation from the true experts? Why do we never get that, folks? Right? Because it doesn't make money, and because they do not care, because it's not their problem. They do not feel it is an issue. That is why they're hiding something. All that is why they would not be doing that. It's so easy. I mean, we should have like a television channel just devoted to real-time debate with two sides on big emerging issues. Let's all talk. We have to talk and say things and see each other's experiences. Exactly what Roger Goodell says, taking into consideration the lived experiences, getting them all together and hearing how people have been influenced, how people have been treated, how their lives have been impacted by policies, people, all of that, different ideas. You get that all and talk it all through, but nobody does that. Why? It's maddening. What else do we get here? We would be pleased to talk with Commissioner about real change, but unfortunately he has not reached out to us to engage in such a discussion. In fact, nobody from the NFL has reached out to us. Absent such a discussion followed by unbiased and concrete change, we believe that a court or government agency must order a federal monitor to oversee the NFL, as the NFL cannot continue to police itself. So absolutely that. We should get an impartial third party to police everything. Because obviously the NFL is not going to police themselves. Why would they do that? Same thing. Facebook, they don't police themselves. Why would they do that? These big corporations, why would they police themselves? Why would they do that? It makes no sense why they would do that. So that's where we are currently at the current moment of this Brian Flores. And once again, this is going to get uglier, I'm sure, and it's going to come out. Hopefully we get a lot more proven information, one side or the other. And we'll see how this continues to progress. But Roger Goodell putting out a memo saying, yeah, we've been talking about race issues in the NFL for years, and then saying Brian Flores has no merit. I mean, really, that's all you really should be, focusing in on, of, who's kind of on the right, not on the right side, but, who's telling the truth and who's trying to play games. You should be able to understand that just by that alone. But that's where we're at, folks. So we'll see how it all continues. We'll still continue to talk about it. Absolutely, we've got no problem doing that. So we'll be doing that when the next information, the nugget of information, comes out. All right, those were all the stories I wanted to touch upon quickly. Now let's shift gears to the Pro Bowl. We'll save the Mac Jones film for a little bit later here, but let's finish out for the Pro Bowl here for the last maybe 20, 23 minutes of the show. However long we got left, which we've got no restraints. But before we look at what the line is in the Pro Bowl and who we should be betting on and all that, let's just quickly run down who's in the Pro Bowl and which team overall is the better team based on their Pro Bowl selection. So we've got all the categories: quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, defensive edge rushers, linebackers, cornerbacks, and safeties. And we're going to talk through, all right, which side has the better of them. We'll talk through the AFC and NFC quarterbacks, decide who's got the better quarterbacks, who's got the better running backs, and then we will utilize that to make our pick of who we should be betting on the Pro Bowl and all that. And then we will look into some prop bets of who we think, if they even have prop bets. I'm assuming they have prop bets. We'll see how it all shakes out and what they're offering to bet on. But I know that we can easily just bet on who wins the Pro Bowl, AFC or NFC. So let's go over, start comparing who's got the better players, AFC or NFC, and who we should be betting on. So let's start here with the quarterbacks, folks. Here we go. The three quarterbacks in the AFC, we get Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. Yeah, what an absolute great lineup here. Justin Herbert, the big, strong arm quarterback. Patrick Mahomes, athletic as heck. Lamar Jackson, athletic as heck. So some great passers here with some great added running athleticism. So Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson versus the three quarterbacks of the NFC. Who do we got here? All right, I didn't want to use this. I got a new window. Let me pause this. All right. Here we go. The NFC quarterbacks are, we had Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, but they decided not to do it. Hey, what's up with that? Tom Brady, this was going to be your last Pro Bowl. No, I wanted to see Tom Brady out here. But Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers decide not to play. So the quarterbacks for the NFC are Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, and Russell Wilson. Alrighty. Kirk Cousins, we don't like him. He's not a winner, but he could have big-time success here because he is going to be like stat padding like he always kind of does. The stats always look good. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, a little bit smaller. They don't really have any big size here where we got Justin Herbert, a big size. Kirk Cousins, yeah, he's a big size, but is he as good as Justin Herbert? Russell Wilson, I mean, we don't even know if this man's good anymore. How crazy is that? Is Russell Wilson not good, or is it just the Seahawks not good? We'll know more as, next season happens and as the future happens. But I think as of right now, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, who's well rusted as heck, just coming off that injury. He didn't play like the last 7 games. So we get Lamar Jackson, fresh. We get Justin Herbert, big arm. And we get Patrick Mahomes, who can do literally everything. I mean, folks, we all know how great that man is. So I'm taking the AFC quarterbacks. They get the check mark there in the quarterback department. I'm not buying Kirk Cousins, folks, okay? Alrighty, now let's go to the running backs. Here we go. We get Jonathan Taylor. We're starting the AFC. Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris. Man, oh man. Oh, Joe Mixon isn't in it because he's in the Super Bowl. So the three official running backs are Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, and Najee Harris. Jonathan Taylor, he's the best running back in the NFL this season because Derrick Henry didn't play every single game. And why the heck is Derrick Henry not a Pro Bowler? Even though he played 5 games, he's still a Pro Bowler, folks. He still finished like top 7 in rushing yards, okay? So a little disrespect of not getting Derrick Henry in here. But Jonathan Taylor's fantastic. Nick Chubb, obviously fantastic. Najee Harris, up and coming, solid year 1 out here. So loving these running backs here. We put Joe Mixon as A1 tier 1 this season. Unfortunately, he's not officially playing because he's in the Super Bowl. A little bit of a better game to be in. We're the running backs of the NFC. We got Dalvin Cook, James Conner. Y'all put James Conner in the Pro Bowl? Alvin Kamara in the Pro Bowl? What the hell is that? Where's Aaron Jones? Where's A.J. Dillon? I'd take A.J. Dillon over James Conner. No disrespect to James Conner, but that was running back by committee with the Cardinals. James Conner and one other running back. I'm forgetting the name. Edwards, C-E. I'm coming with like a C name. I don't know, but whoever it was, it was solid. Chase Edmonds, that's who it is. C, folks, I know, folks. James Conner, Chase Edmonds, running back by committee there with this Cardinals. So Dalvin Cook, once again, Kirk Cousins. They are stats. They're stat people. They don't win games. They turn over the ball at the worst times. So are we like that? May be good in the Pro Bowl. Maybe we should be taking that more into consideration. Hey, this is going to be a free game. Our defense is really going to be trying. We're going to hear from one linebacker who says, yes, absolutely, I'm going hard 100%. He's on the NFC side though, so that's not going to be affecting Kirk Cousins or Dalvin Cook, but They don't result in wins, and what we're out here is winning the Pro Bowl. We want to win the Pro Bowl, so I'm not counting on Dalvin Cook to win the Pro Bowl. No way, no thank you. So I'm going the AFC running backs. I love Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris. We absolutely love it. Nick Chubb, fantastic. So they're all fast. They're all, pretty powerful. They can all stay on their feet. And, Dalvin Cook and Kirk Cousins, they don't win. So I'm not taking that. No way. Even though it's the Pro Bowl, meaningless game, I still want to win. So Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook have no interest in winning games. Jim Harbaugh didn't even want to coach them. I mean, folks, he didn't take the Vikings job for a reason. So I'm going running backs and quarterbacks in the AFC. Alrighty, what else we got here? Next category up, we going wide receivers. Let's start in the AFC. We get Tyreek Hill, who's the number one running wide receiver in the league. We get Jamar Chase, but he is not playing. Stephon Diggs, Keenan Allen, and then Deontay Johnson gets the nod because no Jamar Chase. So we got the speed of Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, the height of Keenan Allen, Deontay Johnson, and, they can all take a 5-yard pass and turn it into a 50-yard touchdown, run after the catch. So, all right, loving these wide receivers of the AFC. And then in the NFC, we have Cooper Kupp. He's in the Super Bowl. We get Devontae Adams, who's not playing. And Deebo Samuel and Justin Jefferson, Mike Evans as well. So there's some great deep threat receivers here. Cooper Kupp, he's not going to be playing, so I don't understand why they still have him and there's nobody replacing him. So that's a little interesting. Devontae Adams, once again, he's choosing not to play. Him and Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady says, yeah, no thank you. So we get Justin Jefferson, Deebo Samuel, and Mike Evans. Now, Mike Evans, great deep threat. Justin Jefferson, great deep threat. Deebo Samuel, in the run and the pass game. It's very, very well. But I'm going to go AFC, folks. I get Tyreek Hill and Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen and, Jamar Chase, I wish. I'm going AFC in the receiver game as well. Give me Tyreek Hill. Give me Stephon Diggs. That's really all I need. Keenan Allen is a big old bonus. So far, we're loving the AFC here, folks. Then we go to tight end, and if we know one thing in the NFL, folks, it's tight end. Shout out to Tight End University. Travis Kelce, George Kittle, please invite me to this offseason's Tight End University. I want to be there. Let me in, please. So the tight ends for the AFC, we get Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. Yeah. Mark Andrews, I mean, he knows what a workload is. Travis Kelce, he knows how to win and be good and all that. So great tight ends in the AFC. What do we got in the NFC side? We got George Kittle and Kyle Pitts. Now, Kyle Pitts has been really good this season. George Kittle a little underwhelming this season. So I'm going AFC tight ends. I get two good ones where I get kind of one big, tall one, Kyle Pitts. He did break records and all that. It just never looked great because it wasn't winning. But with George Kittle, just compared to Travis Kelce, I take Travis Kelce all day. And Mark Andrews, he knows what a workload is. A winning workload is. Kyle Pitts, not so much. So tight ends, I'm going AFC. Man, oh man. So everything offensively is AFC. Now let's check the defense. Let's get the edge rushers first. I don't really care about line that much, all that. Linemen, yeah, they're good, okay? Some linemen are better than others, yeah, maybe, but as a whole new unit, you never worked with these guys before. You don't know how to, block and all that. I'm not really putting too much stake into the offensive linemen. So let's go to the defensive edge rushers, getting pressure on these quarterbacks. All right, for the AFC, we get Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and Trey Hendrickson. We all know Myles Garrett's fantastic. Trey Hendrickson, he's not going to be playing because he's not playing. He's with the Bengals, correct? They don't note that he's not playing, but he's not going to be playing. So just Myles Garrett and Max Crosby. And then for the NFC side, we get Nick Bosa, man, Cam Jordan, man, Brian Burns. So, yeah, Nick Bosa and Cam Jordan. Yeah, the NFC's got some better edge rushers. Yes, sir. So, NFC gets their first big hit. They get the edge rushers, better defensive edge rushers. All right, now we're going to go linebacker core. For the AFC, we get TJ Watt, Joey Bosa, Matt Judon, and Harold Landry. Replacing, Joey Bosa's not in it. He's replacing Joey Bosa. Damn. So we only get TJ Watt and Matt Judon with Harold Landry. And Matthew Judon for the Patriots was an absolute force. TJ Watt, obviously fantastic. For the defense of the NFC, we get Chandler Jones, Robert Quinn and Shaquille Barrett. So these are great players too. Chandler Jones, I think he's a little bit more of a name than an impact on the field. And that's not a knock. I'm not knocking Chandler Jones. He's fantastic. But big impactful, is he like impactful winning games? More compared to the AFC, so I'm going to give it to TJ Watt and Matthew Judon, folks. I'm going to go linebackers in the AFC. Then we go corners. AFC in the corners, we get J.C. Jackson, Xavier Howard, Denzel Ward, and Kenny Moore for the AFC. On the NFC side, the corners, we get Trayvon Diggs, Jalen Ramsey, he's obviously not going, Darius Slay, and Marshawn Lattimore. Ooh, Trayvon Diggs, loving, the Cowboys Walk of Fame defense, getting some nods here in the Pro Bowl. Darius Slay, big play Slay there in Philadelphia. Who do we like here? Xavier Howard's magnificent, but other than that, I think I like the NFC. I think there's a little bit more depth there with Trayvon Diggs and Darius Slay and Marshawn Lattimore. So I think I like Xavier Howard more than all of them, but the NFC a little bit deeper. So I'm giving corners to the NFC. And then the safeties, our last category here before we make our official decision. For the safeties, we get Derwin James and Tyrann Mathieu for the AFC. And in the NFC, we get Quandre Diggs and Antoine Winfield Jr. So we are going to go, we're going to go AFC there with Tyrann Mathieu. He's fantastic, probably best safety in the league. Derwin James for the Chargers, holding it down there for their defense. And I'm going to go safeties in the AFC. So compared to the AFC versus NFC, we like the AFC's quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Every offensive phase of the ball, we are going with AFC. And then in the NFC, we like the defensive edge rushers and the corners, where in the AFC, we like the linebackers and the safeties. So defenses are pretty much, similar. The main outlier, I think the offense of the AFC is way better than the NFC. So let's see what we've got for the Pro Bowl. Hopefully we can bet on the Pro Bowl. I probably should have checked that first. I just assumed we could bet on the Pro Bowl. So let's see. Can we not do Pro Bowl? What the hell is this? Can you not bet on the Pro Bowl? Is that unbettable? There's no way that's unbettable. Super Bowl specials. What the heck? Let me go to popular. Let me go to the homepage. You're telling me I can't bet on the Pro Bowl? That there's no props for the Pro Bowl? Is this real life? Game lines today, football today, Super Bowl. Wow, are they telling? Did I just do that entire thing for nothing? I should have double checked. You're right, folks. I'm sure you're saying, oh, you didn't double. Well, I just assumed, folks. I didn't think we would not be able to bet on the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure I bet on the Super Bowl before when it wasn't kind of, quote, kosher, officially kosher in New York. You know what I mean? Not that I do that, but if I were to do that, I think I did. Wow. Real interesting. Huh. Oh, I don't know where else it would be. Huh. Can you bet on anything else? Like on another platform? Do we have to go to FanDuel? March Madness in the NFL playoffs. Man, oh man. All right. Okay, I guess we cannot bet on, and there's no search function. I don't like that. Can I search, please? I can't search something. Put a search bar in here, DraftKings. Okay, let me search Pro Bowl. That will give me the answer instead of going around all these different categories of do I click on the NFL or do I click on the Super Bowl tab or the playoff tabs or anything like that. This is actually insane. I cannot believe we cannot bet on the Pro Bowl. Okay, folks. Well, I guess we did all that for nothing. But let me see. Let me see if I can find the spread, folks. Let me go to Score Mobile. They should have at least a spread, no? And nobody's even advertising the Pro Bowl. What is up with the page is not even on Score Mobile. When did we just totally toss away the Pro Bowl? There's been odds on the Pro Bowl. I know there's been odds on the Pro Bowl. This is absolutely insane, folks, that we just instantly got rid of any sort of competitive betting for the Pro Bowl. I cannot believe what I am seeing. That's how stunned I am, folks. I didn't even double check for the show because I just assumed you could bet on the Pro Bowl. Wild. Absolutely wild. I mean, we're like an hour and a half out, folks. Well, okay. Well, I guess we'll do it ourselves. I'll take action here, folks. I'm going to set the line at AFC minus 6.5. That's what I'm putting it as. AFC minus 6.5. If Vegas isn't going to set the line and they're too, preoccupied with everything else besides the Pro Bowl, I'll set the own odds right here, folks. AFC minus 6.5, and I take it. I'm betting that. I'm betting AFC minus 6.5. Even though I can't bet it, I'll have to, go to the, how we have the dark web. I'll have to, do some dark diving out here for, the bettability there. AFC minus 6.5, folks. That is our spread, and we would bet that if I could. Wow. I have never seen you not be able to bet on the Pro Bowl. Promos. Is it under a promo? It's not under a Pro Bowl. I know it's not, but wow. Well, how disappointing is that? Yeah? Jeez. Well, we can't bet on the Pro Bowl, so how truly unfortunate. So that's where we're going to leave it today, folks. I like the AFC to win. Unfortunately, we can't bet it. If you can find a way to bet it, let me go to FanDuel. FanDuel got it? I wouldn't assume they do. That'd be kind of crazy. Like, usually sports books, they're together. Oh, you're allowed to bet on this? Well, I want the action too then. I want the money too. Only to bet on the Super Bowl. And I get it, the Super Bowl is big, and I got to log in for the sports book. Is that right? No? Okay, cool. All right. Pro Bowl. Can we bet on the Pro Bowl on FanDuel? Football. No. This is absolutely crazy, folks. I'm absolutely blown away. Super Bowl. You can only bet on the Super Bowl. Alrighty. Well, I never know when. I guess I never got the memo of when y'all stopped putting lines. I'm pretty sure last year you could have. Maybe not last year because of COVID. Did they even have a Pro Bowl last year? The last time they had a Pro Bowl, other than COVID years. All right, folks. That's going to do it for us today. I'm super disappointed. All right. All righty, folks. Well, we are going to be out of here. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Should we even watch the Pro Bowl? What's the point of watching the Pro Bowl if we can't bet the Pro Bowl? Think I'm going to just watch the Pro Bowl with no money on it? What are you, crazy? What are you, absolutely crazy? Of course I'm not going to fucking do that. I'll watch basketball this side. Jeez. Well, I'm dumbfounded, folks. I cannot believe you cannot bet on the Pro Bowl. What the hell is that? Well, alrighty. Well, my disbelief is going to go long past after this show, so let me get out of here so y'all don't have to listen to that anymore. Alrighty, folks. We're back live tomorrow, noon Eastern. We'll break down the Pro Bowl. We'll break it down. And on the money that we could have won, I would have bet on the AFC. I'm going to let you all know right now. I bet on the AFC, and I swallowed 6.5 points. That's what my bets would have been on the Pro Bowl if we could have bet. So if that hits, Draftkings, I'm coming down there because y'all screwed me out of some money. You understand me? AFC's winning the Pro Bowl by 6.5 more points. You understand? And I want money. I want to be compensated for y'all's stupidity of not putting it on there. Alrighty, folks. Back tomorrow, live noon Eastern, breaking down the Pro Bowl that nobody could bet on. Alrighty, folks. We are out of here. Have a great one. Hopefully, maybe you found a way to bet on the Pro Bowl. Maybe you got some bookie that you can bet on the Pro Bowl with, and you were able to do that while I weep over here, not able to do so. Alrighty, folks. We are out of here.